is happening, my peoples? It's
So
Michael
loud.
Gascon, the horse guru. For all you cool cats and kittens, we are here for our video review. It is another beautiful Tuesday that we survived on the ranch, and we are here to see that some of you survived, and we are going to tell you what you can do even better. So we have some folks that have been sending in videos left and right, right and left, and we are going to do our very best to help you. We'll give it a couple moments for everybody to hop on.
Here's your play button. Here's your comments.
Play button and comments.
Hi, Charlene. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, 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 hey!
Okay, so remember when I step out after you get done, go press this play button to go through the videos.
Are you stepping out? I'm not talking about Tarzan.
Stepping out, yes. No, you don't have to talk about Tarzan.
Oh,
You're
okay.
fine. Hi, Wendy.
Wendy!
If you guys are hopping on here, make sure that you approve StreamYard so we can see your name. There's a couple Facebook users saying hello from Pennsylvania. We can't see who you are, so if you have a question, make sure that we can see you. Hi, Christine. All right, awesome. So remember when you get done that it'll say end broadcast, and then you need to download the video, so don't click off of this, okay?
Just in broadcast and walk away.
Yep, and then I'll come in and I'll download it so that way we have it for the membership and all of that fun stuff. So if you want to share it with all of your people, go through all of the things.
Sounds like a
Hi,
plan to me.
Sue. So there's like approximately 35 minutes worth of video. There were a couple that came in late that are not on here.
Sue, I was just riding your pony.
Let's see, Robin here, not sure if StreamYard is showing my name, having trouble with my husband's login. No worries, Robin, just make sure you say your name so we can know if you have a comment, especially I'm sure you sent in some videos for this. So, are you good to go?
I am
Ready
ready.
to rock and roll? Here's your button.
Press
You have
play.
your thing.
Oh, you're untrained mouse? Okay.
It is trained mouse. There's a trained mouse.
All right, let's press play. See what we've got. Working on the spin. We just did a spin video, turn and burn video for you guys. She's opened up her right leg. I appreciate that. She is bumping on that left leg. I appreciate that. The horse crossing over in the front. One thing I would like to see is I like to see that left leg drop under your hip a little bit more. The reason that matters is because if your leg is far forward, and I was very guilty of this early on. Watch whenever we start stepping around here. Look how far forward your button is. Well, that is common sense. We want to push the shoulder, so our foot needs to be as close to the shoulder as possible because that's where the button is. That's common sense, but it's not horse sense. I did this for years, and I had exactly what you have going on here for years, where horses could cross over in the front, but they were kind of Coke bottling in the back, which means they were moving their front and their back at the same time, which is simultaneously. And what I learned is if we drop this knee and leg under our hip, almost on that back cinch, well, that horse, he already knows where he's going. Fireball already knows he's going to the right. You're sitting on your right cheek. You're looking to the right. Everything's opening to the right and closing on the left. He knows he's going right. Well, now if your left leg comes further back, well, now he thinks, ooh, I better not go towards that leg with my hip. Right now, all the pressure, energy, and focus is on the shoulder, and that's really freeing up his butt to move. So if we can bring that leg further back underneath us, that's really going to shut down that back end. You see how he's going almost 50-50 with it. And that's just because all of our attention, our reins, our focus, our everything is on the shoulders, and that just really frees up his butt. So just that little adjustment will be a big help. And then the next thing is don't babysit with that leg where you're kind of tap a couple times and then pick that leg up and drop it on him where he thinks, ooh, I better move. Because he's trying right there. That's nice. Nice. Again, I'm telling you, you bring that foot back, that outside foot back a foot, and you'll see huge differences. Think about it. All your pressure, the rein, the leg, everything is on his shoulder, so there's nothing blocking or guiding his butt. So whenever you get to the place where naturally you just drop that leg right up under your hip, that horse already knows. This guy already knows. Look at his nose tipped. He knows which way you want him to go. Again, don't feel bad about this. I did this exact same thing for years until I went out with a couple futurity trainers. So I hung out with Stacy Westfall, and My buddy Shane up in Colorado, Shane Brown, he's a futurity trainer. Those guys, they really straightened me out and really got me to fix that. Everything else looks great. You're on the proper side of the spine. You're sitting on your inside cheek. You're sitting back. You're not leaning forward. All that looks good. So I'm saying, after bumping a few times, don't bump so quietly. You can't bump so fast that they mean nothing. So it doesn't mean that I want you to leave the leg on. It's just, if you bump once or twice, don't stay bumping at that same speed if his feet aren't picking up. Bump him hard and see if you get some energy once or twice. You can't wiggle faster than what he can move his feet, or it'll start to mean nothing. The idea is that the bumps are the cadence, that every time that you go, and as well as your leg. Your leg is the same thing. In the beginning, your leg and your click is the cadence. Every time you bump, you should get at least a step. So if you go, he's just going to start tuning you out, because there's no way he's going to keep up with that. So make it mean more and slow it down a little bit so he understands, oh, I need to do that cadence or better. And when you get that, he'll try a lot harder. All right, working with Miss Christine.
We're doing pretty good in most everything, except when we're loping and we get on the straightaway, she tends to pick up speed. So I just bring her back into a circle. So we'll just figure out what to do there.
All right, so we're talking about loping in a straight line and the horse speeding up on the straightaway, which is pretty common. When those horses start going straight, they start speeding up. So what are we going to do to fix that? For so much of us, especially on your more finished, Sparrow here is a pretty finished Western horse, we don't think about holding them back. We think about collection. What does that mean? Collection. Bringing their face and their butt closer together, which shortens their stride, and that's where we slow it down. All right, Miss Christine, so power of the circle is absolutely great, and usually that sorts out everything by itself. Just asking that horse to wait on you and move in and move out, and using the circle to slow the horse down. But then outside of that, when we try to take the training wheels off of them and get them in a straight line, everything is about dropping their head and picking their withers up, and that's really what slows them down. So we'll see what you've got, and then we'll kind of go from there. But in a straight line on a finished horse, the way that we're slowing them down is not by holding them back, but it's by picking up their belly and their withers, which shortens their stride, and that's what slows them down, as we gain more collection on a finished Western horse. I like her low headset on loose rein. Very nice. And I noticed that you're a lot braver than me. I can definitely not ride a horse in Daisy Dukes. I will be all chapped up. Yes, ma'am. I can see your comment. So we did a lot of speed transition work in the round pens on different horses, and it's really interesting how the application of our legs in the Respect series to drive them forward really makes it where even the hot horses, when you take your legs off, they start slowing down and coming back to you. I'm excited for you guys to get those videos over this course whenever the wifey puts them out, because I have been working very hard to give you guys a lot of first, second, and third ride with new horses. and just going through each and every step so you guys can see exactly what we're looking for. I mean, everything from gaited horses to colt starts to ponies to big quarter horses, lazy horses, hot horses. So I like the loose rein, and I like the forwardness in which you're riding. Got your little post going on. But I will say, with the post and you riding forward, brings that horse's head up a bit, and that really tends to speed a horse up. Think about the horse like a pool noodle. If you sit in the middle of them, if you sit on their withers forward, like endurance style riding or forward style riding like colt start, you're really driving them forward. So if your goal is collection and slow work, you're really going to want to draw your shoulders back over their hips so that they can pick their withers up so that their head goes down. So if I'm looking to get her really slow for a show or something, I would like to see her head, the top of her head, horizontal or better. So the way that she walks, I would say, okay, that's your ceiling. If you can walk here, you can try and canter here, and that by itself, alone, without doing anything else, is really going to slow your horse down. Even for the extended trot, you can still tell her, hey, there's a ceiling here, don't pick your head up. And if you do that, you're really gonna slow. So much of me slowing down the canter on a horse is slowing down their positioning their trot. Not necessarily slowing them down, but getting them where they hold their head at the same place for all three gaits. So even for your extended trot, that she doesn't have to change her body position. If you notice a reiner, no matter what speed they're going at, they're keeping their head in the same place for all of those things. Nice. Way not to pick on the lead. Just shut it down and ask again. Very nice. So I see so many people mess that up if the horse picks up the wrong lead, that they pick and they spur and they jab and they crack, and a lot of times that makes more of a problem than it had to be. Miss Christine, she picked up her departure. The horse got on the wrong lead. No harm, no foul. She just cantered around for a little bit, relaxed, and then gave another opportunity to pick the canter right back up. Horse picked it up, no problem. That is ideal. That is by the book for horse training. Keep that horse relaxed. Don't get them excited about cantering because you're jabbing and grabbing because you think they're on the wrong lead. Very nice job. I see you're working with a Rommel. So Rommel is really good for getting that horse straight and square. What kind of bridle do you have in her mouth? What kind of bit are you working with? Nice departure, real calm and quiet. I like it. Very nice. That horse is not having it. Said, you're running over my food.
We're going to work on kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade.
Okay, so we're going back to the respect series with a horse. For your loping, I think you are doing, first off, a heck of a job. This is about as finished as I've seen her. It's quiet. You're riding her completely one-handed, which is awesome. Billy Allen bit is kind of like a miler, more or less, same ideology. The one thing that I would pick on if I was trying to, it looks like you're preparing her for show or preparing her for a class, is I would look to get her head a little lower. And I think that's going to make her a lot more consistent for you. I don't think that you're missing too much power of the circle. I think you have pretty good control of her body parts. I think you need to start looking for her to pick her withers up and for her to think that canter isn't here, canter is here. So by the time that I get one-handed on a horse for the show, I start, whenever I kiss, I'm looking for them to pick their front feet up versus cover ground. On the colts that I'm riding, on Sue's horse, on a lot of horses that I'm riding, when I kiss to them, I say, hey, let's go. Canter means canter, go. Pick up another gear. And gears as far as speed early on. Once I start finishing that horse up and I'm getting them prepared for finesse work, there's no difference in, I'm not asking for more speed, I'm asking for a different gait only. So I want you to be able to canter just as slow as you can trot. And that, so much of that starts from really sitting back on them and getting them where they'll stay in the exact same frame in so many disciplines, whether in passos or dressage or English or whatever it is, across the board, all three gaits, the same headset they're looking for at the highest levels, that the horse doesn't change. The speed changes, the gait changes, but their head stays the same. I think that would be a really good thing for you to look to do. If you can maintain the same headset that you have when she's walking and say, hey, here's the ceiling here, as long as you leave your head below here, your only job with the reins at this point, you're basically steering this horse completely off of your body and off of your seat because she's that finished. So basically say, hey, if you stay behind these reins, I will completely leave you alone. And if you could do that, I think she's going to slow down and she's going to wait for you. She's only going to go as fast as you ask her to go and no faster, which is going to make you feel like she's a lot more consistent and give you a lot more confidence in the show ring. Which, I mean, you are right there. You are 5% away from getting everything you want out of that mare. Left and right controls where you go. You've already got that. She's not going to buck with you, run with you, rear with you. Up and down controls how they go. If you're trying to pump a horse up and make them look bigger and hotter, pick their head up. If you're trying to make them more collected, slower, quieter, easier, we're going to drop their head, pick up their withers, and that's going to collect them up. So especially if you're competing in anything that you're supposed to compete on loose rein, we really want to drop their head down and have them leading with their withers as far as height, and not with their head. Horses can compete like that with their head above the saddle, but most of those horses are English and they're guided as far as their speed with their hands. Alright, so this horse is just going through some of the respect series. It is beautiful over there. Hola, mama. That's my mammy. Backing up on a loose lead. I like it. Don't pop your own bubble. What I mean is, if your arms are bent and you have T-Rex arms and you're in that horse's face, you are too close. Don't get any closer than however far you can extend your arms and touch your horse. Again, this horse might not do anything to you, but there are some horses out there that if you pop your own bubble, they will take advantage of you. There you go. She goes right, you go left. She goes left, you go right. Whichever way she goes, you pull the other way, and it's just as effective as going up and down. Wow. That is a hunk of a mare. They call her Chanky Brown. So if I have the reins on, quite frankly, honestly, I'll just reach out and grab the reins. It just gives you better leverage and a more honest pressure point from where you're going to be calling from the saddle. I've just come to the epiphany in the past 2 weeks that I like to explain it. I was trying to explain it to the Africans, and whenever you're explaining to somebody that speaks a different language, you're always trying to be as simple as possible. And I came to the conclusion that basically I just want you to lunge the horse from the saddle. So the more our lunging from the ground looks like the way that we're going to steer that horse in the saddle in the beginning, the more likely that you are to find success. So if you go ahead and grab the reins, you already have the reins on her, grab her by the reins, you'll get more bend out of her face. And then the latest thing that I've been doing, if I grab the reins, a lot of times for the sticky horses, I'll use a crop. And what that allows me to do is stand up a little bit further in front of the shoulder and get better bend out of the face, while the crop continues to encourage them with a lot less work from me. So instead of all this swinging and helicoptering for the horse to barely walk around you, if you had a crop and you kept it down there by her flank, and anytime she didn't want to move, you touched her in the flank, very quickly she would give you a lot of effort for a little bit of try on your end, and you would be able to grab the reins and get a lot more softness and bend, which that's the whole goal. The goal is the most amount of response with the least amount of effort on your end. That is the whole point of a vehicle. Switch hands with the lead rope. If you're going right, put it in your right hand. There we go. Good job. Yes, Miss Lena, I want to do the closest feel. Even the way that I tell you to grab the lead rope is how we hold the reins. Everything we do, the smaller the changes, the longer lasting the results, the more our groundwork mirrors our saddle work. I've started, I don't know, 3, 4 horses, 5 horses in the past couple days, and the students that are here with me, they're like, oh my gosh, every single horse is going out, going out, going out, just like, I mean, like they're coming out of an assembly line. But the work that we're doing on the ground resembles what we do in the saddle so much that it's like the horse is having deja vu. Even though they've never been ridden before, they're like, oh, I know how to do this. Oh, I know how to do this. Hey, you forgot something. You forgot your horse. She said it's okay. It's my favorite speed. Very nice. There you go. Step right with her. There we go. Hey, it's a super horse. Same thing here. Reach up, grab that rein. You're going to get more bend in the face. And what we're looking here is, hey, when she's scared, can she still bend? Can she still give? So much of the time, we do not care how trained the horse is. We care what does the horse do when it's uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, everybody gets hurt on a trained horse. Very few people ride a horse that you have to snub up to a post, put hobbles on and blindfold to ride. Most people get hurt on a horse that already knows how to ride. So that's kind of what we're looking for. She's looking great. Howdy, Miss Jill. That's it. So another thing that you're gonna see is a good horse person is like a good mother. They're bipolar. We've done so many videos, and my wife was certain that I did 3 or 4 days of every single horse that I worked, so that you guys can see from day one me being ridiculous and over the top when I don't know them, and then very quickly over the next 2 days how I get so stoic and so quiet and the horse just does everything that I want. You should be able to be loud whenever you want to be loud. But with that being said, once you gain that horse's respect and that horse is hanging off of your every word, you should be able to get quiet and have the same results where the horse is still hanging off of your word, even though you're not loud. All right, good job, Miss Christine. That looked like a good horse to me. She was very well rounded. All right, let's see this guy. Okay, so when you're going overhanded and you have a horse like this and he does not care, stop what you're doing. If you are threatening and threatening and threatening and the horse says, I call your bluff, and he sees that you're bluffing, he's not going to move. He starts figuring out, well, okay, well, this is very similar to the mother at Walmart, and the kid knows the mother won't do anything. So you hear the mother threatening them and threatening them and threatening them in front of everybody in Walmart. Little Jeffrey, if you don't come here right now, I'm going to whoop you. Don't make me count to 3. 1, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2. She never wants to get to 3 because she knows she's not going to whoop him. Well, she knows she's not going to whoop that kid, and the kid knows she's not going to whoop him. So the kid keeps acting like a buffoon. Well, this pony right here is doing the same thing. He's like, nah, you love me. You know you love me. You're not going to whoop me. This is all a show. Now I'm lunging you. Look, he's pivoting and you're moving your feet. So look, same thing. Look at the amount of foot moving for both of us. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to get right up there where you are by the face. I want you to tie the lead rope up. I want you to grab the reins, which is going to be on the side of the halter. Stand up here in front of his shoulders. Then I want you to have a crop or a dressage whip that has a tassel. Make sure it doesn't have the little leather play flappy thing. That's not for horses. I don't know what that's for. The little tassel that has a little bazinga. And now we're not going to go overhanded. We're going to hold it out to the side, and it's going to come straight to him. When it comes to him and it goes down his side, when it gets to his flank, I want you to give him a little bazinga. And he's going to say, oh, did you just spank me? The audacity. You're going to be like Super Nanny. I don't know if you remember the show, but they had Super Nanny from the UK that would come over to America and get all these spoiled little kids, and she was Super Nanny. And she would just whip them into shape, get them some manners, give them some discipline. Well, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to bring that little crop to that horse, and when that horse, stop going over top, stop warning. All the warning is when that crop comes here, that's all the warning you get. I brought it from the side, I clicked to you, and I brought it to you. Now that it's to you, you're going to get it. The next thing is don't pop that horse on the butt. Its butt is too dull. Pop it in the flank. Pop it right in behind the belly where the belly curves up to. That horse is going to want to move forward. And since you're holding his face, he's going to circle around you away from that crop, and you're going to get the same bend at the same time. Now you have properly incentivized that pony, and he is going to move just where you want. But right here, that horse is just calling your bluff. There's nothing wrong with that horse. That horse is not it's not blind. Not that he doesn't see it coming. He just doesn't think he'll do it. So I want you to stand directly in front of him and bring that crop to his side. And when he doesn't move out from in front of you, I want you to put it on his flanks. Stand your ground too. Don't move your feet. Make him move around you. Pop right behind it. If your crop doesn't reach behind the pad of the saddle towards the end of his belly, get you a longer crop. When I see this, I think, oh my goodness. Whenever I see this, I think, oh goodness. Even if we ride that horse looks, I mean,
Go back to kindergarten.
you would see this horse and you would say, oh, well, this horse is quiet. He'll be fine. The horse that won't go for you, doesn't respect you enough to go, won't whoa for you. So it's cute. And a lot of times we'll get draft horses and ponies and quarter horses that act like this. And kids have been on their back. All these people have been on their back because the horse doesn't care. But the blatant disrespect that a horse has to give you being a prey animal, telling you, no, I'm not going to move my feet. I don't care what you do. The horse that won't go won't whoa. You hear a lot of colt starters, especially from quarter horses, really panicking about horses that don't move their feet. World-class colt starters, move the feet, move the feet. It's all about controlling the feet. You control the feet, you move the feet. Well, they're worried because a lot of horses, when they soul up and they won't go, well, then they explode after that. I have Michael, question on that. Are you still trying to get that horse to walk forward on this exercise? Yes, ma'am, exactly. So I'm going to stand directly in front of him, and I'm going to bring that crop to him. And when I do, it's going to go right down his belly and touch him in the flank. Well, he's going to move away. He can't come forward because the crop's beside him, and I'm in front of him, so he's going to turn. Now that he's turned and I got him by the reins, he's going to be looking at me. And if his feet stop moving, I'm going to touch him with that crop in the flank. He's going to go forward. If he goes forward and tries to straighten up his head, he runs into my body weight on his head, so that's going to turn his head. So very quickly you go from having a dull horse that's making you move your feet and not giving to now he is going to say, ooh, ooh, and he is going to lighten up for you. Yes, ma'am, I do want that head bent. The first grade, give and go. Give me your face, move your feet. Right here, we don't have a horse that'll move, so it's hard to pull his face towards you because he won't move. So turning the steering wheel on a vehicle that doesn't move, this is the problem. We got to get him moving. But if we don't raise the pressure to the level that he respects, and we think that it's because we don't want to be mean to him because he's so nice. He's not that nice if he's disrespecting you that bad. And disrespecting is like not even give you the time of day.
Lower his head.
Right. So she says right here, hey, I did spank him. I understand that could be spanking in your household. But when you see a polite Southern man like myself that says, yes, ma'am, I'm 33 years old. I still say yes, ma'am, to anybody anybody really. It used to be anybody older than me, but now a lot of the people alive in the world today are smaller than me. I still say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Some people get offended about it. Some people don't like it. I really don't care. But I say yes, ma'am, and it's so ingrained in me to be polite because my mama did not spank me like you just spanked that horse. That horse was like, see, I'll spank you. Theodore Roosevelt, walk quietly and carry a big stick. If you have to pick up your crop to a horse, let him know you have it. Take it one step further than he is willing to accept. And when you do that, you'll get the answer that you want. And you won't have to live with it every day. You won't have to live with that crop in your hand every day because he's going to move his feet. He's going to get where you're going. If you put that horse right there that won't move into the herd of horses I have right out here in front, he's going to get out there. He's going to smell it. When he figures out who's the tough one of the group, the alpha mare, that chestnut blue-eyed mare out there, she is going to flick an ear and he is going to run for his life. And all she did was flick an ear. So is he lazy or is it just a lack of respect? Icelandic mare, she is forward. Using the gate series, what am I missing? All right, so we're looking for that tolt. Watch him come around. So we're looking to see if she is pacing or if she is trotting. So let's see that one more time. So if she's pacing, both feet on the same side as us are going to land at the same time. All right, so look how she looks like she has a chain attached to both feet on the same side and they're landing at the same time. That means she's pacing. So for me, I would like to see the tip of her nose come downward. So lower that halter, see if you can get the tip of her nose down. See if you can lower her head. Pace usually comes from being tense and tight and upright. So we need to get her back feet landing first. So look at her feet. Her back feet and her front feet look like they are almost landing at the same time. So you see her head high, nose out. The first thing I try to do is lower her head. The next thing that I would try to do is try to get her circling. She's not far off. She just needs to get a little bit more collected. Right now she's kind of holding on you. She's kind of holding that head up. So what we want to see, you see how when she's going, when she was going, her front feet and her back feet are the same distance apart, and they stay the same distance apart as if she is a choo-choo train. One end of the spectrum is pace, the other end of the spectrum is trot, and gait is balanced in the middle. Your trotty horses are usually kind of lazy, head down, too heavy on the forehead. We need to pick their head up and drive their butt under them. The pacey horse is usually head high, tense and tight, and rigid through the body. What we want to do to them is drop their head and then get them real bendy through the body. So I would do power of the circle on that horse right around that soccer ball, never letting her get centered, and I would look to lower her head a little bit, and that horse is going to tolt no problem. Yes, so you're going to stand. Whenever you crop him in the flank, you're going to have a hand holding on to the rein. So you're standing in front of him, and this hand on the rein is going to point him off where you want to go. So it's going to point his head enough where if you touch him in the flank, he's not going to run on top of you, because you're standing directly in front of him like this. You want him to go left, so you're going to reach over with your left hand and grab the rein, and you're going to point his face to the left. So doing this is going to turn his head here. So now his face isn't directly pointing your direction, and then you're going to bring that crop towards him, and you're going to be clicking to him when it comes, and by the time that it gets here, you're going to be tapping this flank. He's going to want to go somewhere to get away from that. If he doesn't want to go somewhere, you are not flanking him. You are not giving him the juice. Be upset. You treat this horse so nicely. You do everything for him, and he says, I can't even move my feet for you. As a mother, you should be offended that you're telling your kid to go to school to do something, and it's saying, no, you can't move me. I wish I would have tried to tell my mom I wasn't going to go to school. No, I don't think I'm going to go to work today. She's a little southern woman. That wouldn't have carried over too high, and she's pint-sized just like you, but she would have had my hide. Oh, so it's the same thing. She is only trotting. In a lot of these videos, if you watch her, she is pacing. And the reason I say that is watch her footfall. You may feel like she's trotting, but watch her footfall. We'll see if I get a screenshot here. She's bouncy, and you think she's trotting, but if you look closely, all right, so see how both left legs are on the ground and both right legs are in the air? So that's pacing. So pace is when both legs on the same side are hitting. For her to be trotting, it would have to be this back left foot landing and that front right foot landing at the same time. So she's pacing with you, and that's why she feels rough to you. Very common. I mean, the two things that gaited horses are going to do, usually when they're not gaiting or tolting, they're going to be pacing or they're going to be trotting. Usually your high-headed horse is going to be pacing, and true to the belief, here we are. 2 left feet on the ground, 2 right feet in the air. And it's okay. A lot of folks, if we don't have a lot of experience riding trotty horse, pacing horses, we get confused. And a lot of times this hurts the cause as well if we don't know what they're doing, because we're working on something. It's almost as if the fix for trot is to try to get them pacing. What I mean by that is a pacey horse is high-headed and driving with energy. We want to get a trotty horse, pick their head up, and drive them with energy. And our pacey horse, we want to get them trotting almost. We want to get them dropping their head and moving relaxed and soft and supple and easy. So if we don't know exactly what they're doing, then that can make it hard for us to understand. So if you look right here at that screenshot, both left feet on the ground, both right feet in the air, and because of that, we're pacing instead of trotting. If she was trotting, her left back foot and her front right foot would be on the ground at the same time. No worries. Happens to the very best of us. And some horses, usually it's easy to tell because your trot is straight up and down and your pace is kind of waddly. But like a well-balanced horse like that, it's like well-rounded and short and stocky, sometimes it's not easy to tell from the saddle, because pace and trot sounds 1 2 1 2 1 2, because 2 feet are hitting the ground at the same time, and gait would be 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 taka 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 taka. All right, Robin and Rebel, turn and burn practice. Am I doing this right? Did everybody get the turn and burn video? Because I see people working on it. Should I only ask for a 180-degree turn? See, we seem to lose momentum after the first few steps. All right, so turn and burn right here. I just did a turn and burn video for you guys. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. And squeeze out. There we go. So one of the things that we can do for this exercise to keep that energy, if you feel like she's dying on you halfway through, you can put a crop in your left hand, in your outside hand, so that if she dies on you and she doesn't respect your leg enough to come off of it, instead of coming all the way over with that left hand, you're just going to touch her with that outside rein. And then if she doesn't just get off of the outside rein, instead of just kind of laying on her, which is going to make her more lethargic, you can touch her with the rein, then touch her with the crop. That's going to activate the rein. And in future days to come, when that rein touches her neck, she's going to be lighter off of it. But if we start laying that rein against her neck, well, then she's going to start laying back against us, and it tends to slow us down. Outside of that, she is looking really good and light on her feet. So she's trotting in a circle, has the horse's nose bent to the inside, getting the bend that we want, and then out of nowhere, shutting it down, driving that horse around in a circle. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I think that's all you're going to need is a little crop action on that outside shoulder. It's just going to wake her up and remind her to try. That is all. Other than that, you are doing amazing. First and third grade, showing some mare attitude. Let's see what we've got. We have turned, this family right here has turned into the freaking horse training family. You know, horse families that train together stay together, I tell you. Everybody from mom and dad and the kids, everybody trains horses here. It's awesome. Yeah, she is a little sassy. If there's any threat of a bite, put the reins on and grab a hold of the reins. That's going to pick your arm up above her mouth versus having that arm under her mouth. I'm glad we could sort that out for you, Miss Sasha. Yeah, a lot of folks are working on something and they think their horse is doing something different. So that's why it's such a beautiful thing to be able to send the video review and see what your horse is doing. Absolutely. So when I get the mare like this that's a little sassy and has her ears pinned, I like to put the reins on because that's going to bring my arm up another 6 inches, and my arm is actually going to be above her mouth. So if she's going to get fussy, I can actually put more energy on her, move her butt, move her shoulders, go back and forth easier, and she can't threaten the bite. Because you see she's pinning her ears, and look at her mouth is nice, is tight. She has that pointing lip. She's threatening a bite. He's doing the right thing and doing his job and just going about it. That's what you do. You just keep working until they figure out that it's easier to just do their job than to threaten us. There we go. So when that happens, we don't want to go up with the crop. We want to keep it beside them. As soon as you made the switch, you got that horse's feet moving again. Very good work. Again, wait till you grab the lead rope. Wait till you tie the lead rope up and grab the reins and see if her head doesn't drop and see if you don't feel more empowered. Yeah, we get some sassy mares and some sassy stud colts that act like that, and it's our job just to keep working. Now, for me, I'm going to go back here, and while she's going and doing good, I'm going to pet her in the flanks and her stifle with that crop just to make her more fussy. And she's going to figure out that she has no say. There you go. There you go. Step with her. Nice. Very nice work. Very well done. Guys, for those of you watching, that's not an easy pony to work with right there. When you see those mares that they're being fussy and they want to rear and they want to bite, it takes a lot of wherewithal to just stand your ground and keep working. I don't know how you think these horses get fixed. A lot of people think it's magic when they come here. When you send your marish mare or your fussy stud colt, we just do our job regardless of what face they make or what we do. We just keep going on about our business, and sooner or later they find out that it's easier just to do their job without all the sass, because we don't care about their sass. So this young man is doing his job regardless of what she does, and that's how you make a productive member of society, even if they have a personality like this. But yeah, definitely anything that's a bite risk, having them above the halter versus under the halter is a huge game changer. Very good job, fella. You guys are doing awesome. All right, Miss Barb and Chica. Oh my goodness, she's cantering. Hey, look at that. Confidence Coaching Week got her going fast. That's it. Good job. That's the best canter work I've ever seen you do on her. So free, so consistent, and more importantly, so ladies and gents, this is a young green Pasofino filly, a Pasofrico if you will, and she is hot as the day is long. I mean, she's a little firecracker. Look at Miss Barb, that's always practicing, putting in time. She is pushing the filly to go faster. So on a loose rein, only holding the inside rein, and saying, hey, look at the outside rein, how loose it is. And she is saying, hey, go faster. Hey, go faster. Hey, canter. Hey, go faster. Guys, watch when she stops pressuring, how the horse comes back to her. Look at that. All she did was take her legs off the gas pedal, and look how that filly is right there with her. There's a common misbelief that if you have a hot horse, you can't go fast because they're always going to be hot. That's not true. You just have to be careful how you go fast so you're not holding on them and you're not playing tug of war with them. But when you put them on that loose rein and you say, hey, here's you go, and stay where I ask you to go, we can go fast, but you have to guide where I ask you to go. It's amazing how many hot horses, and Chica's a little firecracker, a little pistol, for her to come back to her like that is freaking awesome. And then look after that canter work, that flat walk on that loose rein. It's amazing. It's amazing what some good canter work will do. We say we're not about wearing horses out, and that's very true. But you would be amazed. Passos that you can run ragged for 30 minutes, an hour and a half, and they'll just keep running, no problem. That same horse, if you get to cantering with their head down, in frame, in power of the circle, they can't hold it but for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and they are completely gassed because they have to use themselves so well to listen to your guiding, to carry themselves, to keep their head low, to stay balanced. And that's a great example there. Just not too long ago, they were having trouble just walking around this arena, and that little filly was spazzing out on her own and just basically letting the RPMs get stuck. And Miss Barr was having to work through it. So to see them canter around right there and go really fast and just break down and get a nice flat walk on a loose rein, I love to see that. There we go. Driving her again. So the difference is this. This is the big difference I find. When you're not afraid to push your horse, you can have an on and an off. If you are afraid to drive your horse and you're afraid of what's on the other side, well, then you try to be off the whole time. So right here, she is driving her. She is pushing her. Well, what that does for her is whenever she slows down, it'll be obvious that she's no longer pushing her. If you get a little, there we go. If you get a little hot horse like this and you always try to keep your legs off and you always try to stay quiet and you always try to stay out of her way, then what's on and off? Whenever your legs are off, well, that's on and off. When she's on, your legs are off. When she's off, your legs are off. So she's going to do what she wants to. By her taking that hot filly and actually asking when she's asking, actually pushing her and kissing her, putting her legs on her, then when she does take her legs off, it's like, oh, you want me to relax. That's exactly what we want to see. Uh-oh. Go on, bridleless. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta risk it for the biscuit. History favors the bold. So she's working with a neck rope, a neck ring. I love that. Good stop, good backup. That stop and backup is very important. I believe if I look at it, you have it reversed. You're holding on to the hard part and you've got the soft part on her. It's meant to be held with the soft part in your hand and the hard part on her, unless you're just trying to be softer and easier on her. One thing I would like to see is it's very important whenever you're going bridleless that you have a neutral, that you have straight. And whenever I'm going straight with the neck rope, see where your hand's at right here at a standstill? That's where I want your hand anytime you go straight, is on her withers, so that she feels when your hand comes off of her withers. But if you just hover and you leave your hand off of her withers all the time, it's very difficult for her to feel the change and notice the change, especially barefooted without spurs. So get her turned. Once you get her turned wherever you want to go, wrap that right leg up. As soon as you get her going straight, put your hand right back down on her withers so it's very apparent, it's very obvious. Don't hover the ring. Either it's sitting on her withers and she knows that she needs to be in neutral, going in a straight line, so that when the neck ring moves, it's very obvious. Very nice work. Very cool. And this is the secret to her success with the bridle. She has a good stop and a good backup. That is a key component of every great bridleless horse. That you feel like, man, if I take my legs off, they're gonna stop. That's what we want to see. Very nice work. She said we're getting there. I think we're there. The same thing. Bridleless trotting and cantering makes a lot more sense when you've gotten accustomed to riding that horse with a leg on all the time, and you have to encourage them forward. You have to keep the leg on to keep them going. So then they turn off whenever you take your foot off the gas. I love that you're sitting back in the canter. One thing I notice is that you're looking kind of forward at her, and I would like you to be looking forward. You've kind of lost a little direction. I would like for you to look for that canter and look at that purple block in the middle of the arena and circle around it, and that's going to give you a lot better direction. The canter is beautiful. The canter departure is nice. She's going when you want her to go, but keep your eyes on that purple block in the middle of that cone. Right here, when you look at her, she gets lost because she doesn't know where to go. There we go. Keep looking at the block. Keep looking at the block. So that little adjustment of looking in the middle, and you say, well, if I look at the block, she circles inward. Then take that outside rein and leg off and give her the ability. If you keep driving her fast in that circle, and with her nose tipped to the inside, she's going to want out. And if you don't give her face out, the only way to come out is to move her shoulders and keep going out. If you want to send in videos for critique, you can just email them in and we will download them and get them set up for Tuesdays. But Barb, that's amazing work. I'm really proud of a lot of you guys doing a really good job. The Jordans, great job. Miss Wendy, very nice work. Barb's out here going bridleless and flying around on Philly. Everybody's pumped up, and I like it. I like it a lot. Very good job, guys. Keep up the good work. Keep sending in the videos. Look at how many things we were able to make, small adjustments that are going to make huge ripple effects and huge differences. But you got to send the videos in. It's just that simple. Look at something as simple as Miss Sasha. She's doing a great job with her horse, and she could be doing the exact perfect thing, and just having a second eye to just say, hey, look at the footfall there, just that little adjustment could change. She would have fixed it by herself anyway, but it might change it from a 1 or 2 ride fix to a few month fix, just from having that second set of eyes to say, hey, look, look at the footfall here, let's make this adjustment or that adjustment. So don't be afraid. Some people are I don't want to be seen riding in public, or I don't want to do this. Everybody on here is supportive, and everybody on here has problems of their own and understands how hard it is to improve. And no matter where they're at in their riding program or process or journey, they remember what it was like to not be good at whatever it is that you send in. So there's nobody in here that is going to, no Debbie Downers in here. We do have some Debbies, but they're not Downers. So no Debbie Downers, no negative Nancys. We do have some Nancys, but they're not negative. So send the videos in, and we will work on them and see if we can help you from afar. Well, thank you guys. It has been my pleasure as always, and I will see you for Horse Talk Live.